Hey, how you doing, listeners? This is another episode of Speed Run the podcast. Today we are talking about MAXXXINE, and we have a returning guest. She's been on our main show again. Welcome back to the show, Erin Mick. How you doing, Erin?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Yeah, doing good. Slightly warm today in sunny Burbank, but hanging in there. Yeah.
Sunny Burbank, the
hmm
locale of Maxine.
Oh yeah, basically, yeah. I'm like it's a very close to like 'cause she's in like Universal Studios at one point. Very
Yeah.
close to there where I live without saying where I live.
Don't dox yourself on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, but yeah, good to have you back on.
Glad
You
to be
were
back.
yeah, thanks. You were great on we were talking Immaculate back in March. So
Yes,
yeah, it was a fun
I'm great
episode.
at yapping about movies. That's my
Mhm.
favorite thing.
Yeah, no. Love your opinions. All your horror takes are good takes. So, you know, it's good to talk horror again.
Yeah, heck yeah.
hmm Awesome. But yeah, how you been doing since last saw you?
How have I been doing? Well, pretty good. Um, just still trucking away,
hmm
doing that education thing on the one hand. Um, I have, well, I don't know how many people are going to see this that are like in Toronto, but
Okay.
I have a thing to plug, if that's okay.
Yeah, no, of course, yeah. Plug away.
Okay. I'm, I've written and I am starring in a play
Oh, okay.
here
Yeah.
in Toronto, Canada. Um, it's called Ben and Ronnie. You can find it on Eventbrite if you're here and you want to see a super, super indie play.
hmm
Because why wouldn't you want to do that, right?
Yeah.
Kind of a dark comedic thriller, I guess. Kind of weird, hopefully interesting. Bad or
hmm
good, as long as it's interesting.
Yeah.
Anyways, if anyone's here, come check that out.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have the date that it was playing?
Yeah, August. I'm really good at this.
No, you're welcome. You're doing fine. You're doing fine.
August 9th, 10th, and 11th. A short little 3 night run, 8 p.m. every night. It's only 25 bucks. I wanted to make it 15, but everything's expensive now.
Yeah, it's yeah, darn inflation. But no, yeah, I believe we probably have like a lot of like Canadian listeners, Toronto, like friends and stuff. So
I hope so. They
yeah.
should come. And if cost is a boundary, just email me.
Oh, okay. There we go.
I'm easy to find.
Yeah, awesome. But yeah, definitely any listeners in Toronto, please check that out because yeah, no, you're been seeing all the work you've been doing on it, and it looks really cool. And I'm
It's
sure.
gonna be a weird time. It's at the Red Sand Castle, which is this like black box theater run by horror people. So it's gonna
Oh,
be
okay.
cool.
Yeah, love horror, so can't go wrong there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, definitely, anyone check that out. But yeah, speaking of horror, I guess we're gonna talk movie that came out last weekend.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been waiting on this for a long time.
Too.
It's Pearl came out like 2 years ago. Well, X and Pearl, and you know those are great. MAXXINE has been teased by like T West for a minute now, and finally got to see it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. I actually saw X on my okay, this is funny. Here's an LA
Sure.
connection. So in March of 2022, I was in LA for like a little trade mission thing
Mhm.
for film and TV. And I got back basically the day before my birthday. And then the first thing I did was like buy tickets for X and go see it basically on my birthday.
That's awesome. That's a good birthday present to yourself.
I think so. It was fun. And
Mhm.
it was still like a little COVID-y, but people,
Yeah.
my friends are still careful. So we masked up and we went to that theater and we had a good time.
Awesome. Yeah. Which theater did you go to?
So it's this little Imagine Cinemas on Carlton here in Toronto.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Just affectionately known as the Carlton. And I really
Nice.
love it there.
That's cool. Yeah. I've never been there before, but
The
when I've
next
been,
time you're in town, we'll go see something there. They
yeah.
have good ticket prices. It's a cool vibe. It kind of has maintained this like 90s, early aughts theater feel. I'm sure it's older. I'm sure the building itself is even older than that. I don't know for sure.
Hmm.
but it has maintained this like classic early aughts or like late 90s cinema feel. There's like old posters on all the walls, like it there should be, and it's kind of dingy. The
Oh, okay.
carpet is weird. You know, a
That,
proper cinema, damn it.
yeah, no, that sounds like my kind of theater. Yeah, no, if when I'm in Toronto, I'll definitely have to check that out. I'll trade you if you're in LA to go to the AMC Burbank.
Yes, I really need to go to AMC Burbank. I really want to go there.
Yeah, hopefully a viral moment doesn't happen there because that's happened several times. But yeah,
Well, that's okay.
yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, so without further ado, we're gonna like speed run this discussion. This has been, really cool to have guests on. No one has been able to answer all the questions in 10 minutes, so hopefully wishing you the best.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, I know you came very prepared, so definitely let's
I'm ready. I have a cheat sheet. I don't know if the listeners are allowed to know that.
uh-huh. No, you get the questions at a time, so
I was
but
ready.
yeah, ready. So without further ado, I'll start the timer and I'll start asking you questions
Ah,
for this.
okay.
Awesome. And timer is starting now. All right. So, what is your favorite 80s horror film, Aaron?
Okay, so I was thinking about this, and
Mm-hmm.
I should just give a one title answer because in the interest of time, but I struggled because I love all the Cronenberg stuff, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Toronto, shout out Canada.
Yeah.
But so I love the 80s stuff. I love The Fly, I love Videodrome. I do. I have to shout it out. And obviously something like The Shining would be a gimme because it's just such
Mm-hmm.
a good movie. And I mean, everybody and their dog loves Kubrick. Like that's not an
Yeah.
interesting thing to say.
Yeah. Same.
But I think I have to give the win to John Carpenter's The Thing on this one
Oh, okay.
because it's just so claustrophobic and the practical effects are so fun and they really
Mm-hmm.
hold up for me. And I just think that movie is a freaking romp. I love that film. I
Yeah.
will watch it almost any time too. It's kind of like a comfort watch.
No, yeah, it really is. It's like one of the best. I think it's like his best film, I want to say, and like
It's
oh,
probably, I mean, I know like how everyone loves Halloween and everything, but like I just love I just like really love The Thing. I think it's so fun. I especially love the scene where the
mhm.
thing like just rampaging through the floor and the floorboards go flying.
Yeah.
Remember that one I'm talking about?
Hmm.
It's
Practical
so good.
effects. Yeah. It was so great that when they did a sequel, they did not do practical effects again. They couldn't replicate it.
Because you can't top that. I
Yeah.
heard that Alien Romulus is
Hmm.
gonna be using all practical effects.
Yes, Fede is. I don't think he's like against visual effects, but he's like, well, if we do it practically, let's try it out.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm. That's like at the top of my list right now. I guess after MAXXXINE. But no, it's cool to know your favorite '80s horror film. Yeah,
Oh,
because it's
movie, sorry.
mhm. No worries. Yeah, because it's like MAXXINE was in the '80s, and I guess that leads into the next question. What were your expectations going into MAXXINE? Because X and Pearl came out great, so talk about that.
High. Really, 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 really high. Like I know everyone
Hmm.
is like, oh, I try to keep my expectations low for horror. No, I expect excellence.
Hmm.
And I love Ty West. I really do. It's funny. I actually think that until recently, I wasn't even aware of like how many movies that guy has made. He's made a lot of movies and he's not that
Yeah,
old. He's like a
no,
young person.
yeah, he's like in his 30s. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I have always loved House of the Devil. I love that movie.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, so I knew when X was like announced, I was like, oh, he's gonna nail the sort of period feeling of it being
Hmm.
sort of in the late 70s, having seen something like House of the Devil, which if you didn't know it was a modern movie, you would think that was a late 70s or early 80s film. And
Yeah.
that's intentional, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, and then I rewatched The Innkeepers this week
Okay.
because I think I watched it when it came out, but I really remembered like almost nothing about it. And it's so charming. What a delightful movie. He gets incredible performances out of his actors too, which I
Hmm.
just think is a sign of like a probably a really like solid person.
Yeah, really
Oh,
appreciate that.
that's controversial because there's been amazing performances that were like subject to abuse. Speaking of The Shining,
Yeah. Yeah.
poor Shelley, R.I.P.
Yeah. R.I.P. But yeah, no, X Maxine, a lot of expectations, but it's
High,
also
and I think it matched them. Like I was excited.
yeah, no, and then also set in the 80s, which
Yeah.
a lot of needle drops. What was your favorite needle drop in this movie?
Yeah, so I was thinking about this, and to be honest, I don't know. Um, I'm not good with remembering needle drops, but I also
Mhm.
think if you don't remember needle drops, they were probably done correctly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have to pass that question. I guess it'll count
Okay.
as a loss because I just can't I'm like totally blank on needle drops in that movie.
No, no. You could plead the fifth then. Yeah.
I
Making
plead the
this.
fifth.
Okay.
I'm not
Making.
American, but I plead the fifth.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, it's international court, I guess. I don't know. So Maxine has came out and completes a trilogy. What was your favorite film in the X trilogy, I guess, with all these films out now?
Oh, I think it's still X. I love Maxine. It's very
Hmm.
fun. And Pearl was beautiful. I love the Technicolor look and that sort of outrageous s- story.
Yeah.
But X is just so gritty, and I like this. I like how I saw an interview where Ty was talking about like how obviously there's a connection between something like porn and something like horror because
Mhm.
these are kind of like underground genres when they're at a certain budget. And so I like that he made that kind of like siblinghood of those genres um explicit in X and in this really loving way. Like he wasn't being derogatory at all. It was
Yeah.
this like just ode to filmmaking by any means necessary,
Yeah.
which I just think is kind of like wholesome in a way that you wouldn't expect from a movie that's about like indie porn and gore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, has a lot of like empathy to it, I guess.
And it's fun, and I love all the split screens, and I do. I'm a sucker for all that stylistic pastiche stuff. Like I love all that.
Yeah, no, it's like it really fits. Like, also too, like there hasn't been like a horror film like that in a minute, so it's cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Kind of talking about influences, what do you think of like Maxine's influences, a lot of Italian horror, 80s? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So as it turns out, like I was digging in my brain for 80s stuff. And of course,
Hmm.
I've seen a lot of 80s films, and I was looking at what specifically came out in 1985 because I guess that's the year that Maxine is set in.
Hmm.
So you've got like The Goonies.
Yeah.
It comes out in 1985. And then obviously all this other really great stuff. But my brain doesn't have like a big cache of 80s movies. I'm mostly my consciousness like tunes in the 90s.
Hmm.
But I did feel like there was a lot of love for Giallo, obviously, and
Hmm.
video nasties
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But also, I think a lot of love for just American filmmaking in general. And I don't know if this is intentional, but I thought that there were some references to have you seen Cruising, the Friedkin film from
Oh,
1980?
no, I haven't. That's on my list since he like passed away.
So like
So.
it's set in 1980 or it came out in 1980 and it's set in New York and in
Hmm.
like the leather bar scene. But this scene where um the Night Stalker goes to the peep show and watches Maxine and kind of is like angry, and you just see his like leather hands clench on the
Oh yeah,
windowsill.
that was cool. Very
That
stylistic.
I swear to God, that's got to be a reference to Cruising. It felt so relevant to it, but I
Yeah.
can't tell if it's just like a genre convention of like the 80s neo noir moment or if it's actually a Friedkin reference. But in any case, I loved
Yeah.
all of those references. I loved the affection for kind of like trash, I think. And I say that in quotations because
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
yeah, a
No,
lot of
yeah.
love for that.
No, that's cool. Yeah, it had a place to it. Speaking of that, the movie within the movie, The Puritan 2, would you watch that?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a slasher film. So, favorite slasher film? That was the next question. Very curious what yours is.
I have to give this to Texas Chainsaw. I've rewatched that
Okay.
movie so many times. I almost said Halloween though, because that's a gimme.
Yeah.
But I think it's Texas Chainsaw. It's just so beautiful. I think Hooper was doing something a little different, and I love that film.
Yeah, no, it's a great film. I try to watch that every so often, probably on Halloween.
Yeah,
Um, Yeah, but thoughts on the twist in MAXXXINE? Going into spoilers, if anyone doesn't.
Right, no
Yeah,
spoilers. Well, there probably is going to be a spoiler here.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I saw people online saying they didn't like it and it felt like a Scooby-Doo twist, but I think that's intentional because
Hmm.
I think this is playing with the notion of Hollywood, and this isn't new. Like you could talk about like Kenneth Anger's Hollywood Babylon or like
Yeah.
even Damien Chazelle's Babylon or whatever. This idea of Hollywood as like a mythological place an important, almost biblical center of like culture and economy
Hmm.
and dark hedonism.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Kind of.
so I think like if you're going to do a story that kind of takes Hollywood figures as like mythological heroes and Hollywood itself as like a like a acropolis or something,
Hmm.
then obviously there's going to be some like cheese. So I think the twist is great. I think it's about like bad parentage and fighting your fate and facing up to like bad genetics and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I liked it. I
Yeah.
know that some people thought it was cheesy, but I like a little bit of cheese.
Yeah.
That's
Especially.
crucial to the 80s, is it not?
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I felt. Agree as well. Speaking of that, the character of MAXXXINE. Oh, and we're out
Oh,
of
I
time.
have the time.
And you got to 9 out of 13 questions. So pretty
Pretty
fun.
good.
Pretty good. Yeah, no, pretty good. Out of like, we've done this like 4 times now. So yeah,
Um,
congrats. Mhm.
I'm so sad. I was so sure I was going to do it, but you got me because there's
Yeah.
such good questions.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, no, they were good answers. So,
I do want to say my least favorite aspect of the film was that Leon died because Moses Sumney
Oh,
was such
yeah.
a delight to watch in that role.
Yeah, he was really cool. I liked his like character, just like the video store guy and like, you know,
Yeah,
it's cool.
he had such a cool, he like shaped that character beautifully and didn't have much time to do so.
Hmm.
And um, I mean, everybody wants like a cool death in a horror movie, so I'm sure he's
Yeah.
not sad about it. But like, I was bummed.
Yeah. No, at least he got something really memorable, I guess, for that death scene. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, no, this was really cool that, it was a good like discussion that we like sped around in like 10 minutes. So yeah,
I'm so sad.
yeah. Yeah, no, I wish it could be longer, but that would like defeat the purpose of like the
Yeah,
speed run.
exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's totally fine. It's a fun challenge. I want to be on again and I want to talk about what should we talk about? I don't know. Are you going to do a podcast on long legs?
Oh, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure if we'll do that because we're still like planning the next couple episodes, but we can. Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's a good
Yeah.
one.
No, no, yeah, definitely. No, I saw it on Friday. Loved Long Legs. Like, seemed like Maxine and Long Legs like within more or less just a week within each other. It was a really great like horror like double feature, I guess.
Yeah, and they kind of live in similar worlds in like a bizarre way.
Yeah.
I forgot to shout out the Satanic Panic in the 80s because I that's obviously like a huge influence on the movie. Anyway, sorry, we're done
Yeah.
now.
No, 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 you're good. Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. I don't know. Yeah, we might do Long Legs. We'll see. We'll see. We're always trying to do discussions and about all the movies we like and appreciate. So yeah.
Cool. I watched the podcast episode on Hitman, obviously, but I
Oh,
haven't
okay.
seen it yet, so I didn't want to listen too much. So I watched the first like part of the podcast that you sent me on Hitman, and then skipped a bunch and then watched the very end because I was like, I don't want to have too many spoilers.
Yeah, no, yeah. It was a fairly good movie. I mean, I love Richard Linklater.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Linklater,
it's great. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was a pleasure having you back on the podcast.
thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, of course you always you're a great guest, and wish we could have got to the full 13, but definitely have you on the back again.
That's
Maybe let's
okay.
talk another movie. So
That's okay. We have these questions are great. We can talk about them like on our own
yeah,
as
no, off camera.
friendship discussion.
Yeah, definitely. But Aaron, any like social media you want to like plug or anything?
Oh, I don't know. I'm easy to find. Erin and underscore Mick on Instagram. Don't bother on Twitter because I'm never on there.
Yeah, probably
Or
not.
or
Mhm.
X
Yeah.
as it's called. Um, and then what else am I on? I don't know. Like Facebook, but who uses Facebook anymore?
No, no one, like old boomers. So
Yeah,
yeah.
me, I do for some reason. I'm hanging on.
Oh yeah. No, I just use it to like keeping track of like relatives,
Yeah,
show them I'm
exactly.
still alive. So yeah,
Like
that's
talk
cool.
to my mom on it. That's pretty much it.
Yeah,
Post photos.
there you go. But yeah, no, definitely follow you, see all the progress of the play. Always great to see your photography, so that's cool. But yeah, of course, of course. And you can follow the Waffle Press at the Waffle Press Podcast on Instagram, at the Waffle Press on Twitter, not calling it X. We're on SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe. Or subscribe anyway. Something new you like. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We've been professionally unprofessional.